Anybody noticed I was smiling for a moment because I was contemplating my introduction to the President's remarks. Fred Skier and I both spent formative years in New York, where everything would stop for what was affectionately called the High Holy Day Appeal. In some congregations, they would actually lock the doors. We're not locking the doors. It's not even that quite straightforward an appeal. It's a status of our community, our congregation, and what matters from the perspective of the leadership. And it's my pleasure to call upon our president, David Rakofsky.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi. I'm not the Torah, I'm sorry. But, good Yontif. Whether you're here, at home, or watching the waves roll in behind the building, the amazing turnout this year speaks volumes about our excitement to return and to reconnect with Emanuel. All our thanks to Rabbi Zedek, Cantor Friedman, and Reverend Sabetta for these breathtaking opportunities for reflection and renewal. Thank you to our choir for being here again. I'll open my remarks with a Jewish joke, rather than a predictable gag about temple presidents losing their hair, which is a little on the nose this presidency. I recall from my youth a sermon that began with the one about the rabbi who sneaks off to play golf between services on Yom Kippur, the Almighty and Moses watching from above as he shoots his first ever ace. Moses protests, "Adonai, this is how you're going to teach him a lesson about honesty? He just got a hole in one." "Sure," said God, "but who's he going to tell?" One thing's true about Yom Kippur. You have to tell the truth. And I'm here to do just that. But first, as president, I stand on the shoulders of those who served before me. Over these past 19 months of plague, despite our physical distance, we experienced the real meaning of being a community. And what this temple needed most last year, when COVID-19 threatened our lives and closed our temple doors, was the right president for the moment. That president was Leah Jones. Like Moses bringing us through what seemed like a 40-year pandemic desert, Leah kept us together. She launched us successfully and swiftly into a virtual mode of connection with each other, expanding the universe of people who can worship with us. Leah, we have you to thank for this and many instances of incredible leadership, wherever you are today. Thank you. Now, despite the pandemic, Emanuel continued to celebrate mitzvot and the holidays. We carried on leadership meetings, and members were able to commune in fellowship and shared interests. Our chesed team checked in on folks who were isolated or in need of some assistance or errands. Then when our Sunday school finally reopened physically last spring, I felt such nachas seeing the smiling eyes of our young learners ready to kibitz together after months only on screens. And after a year, when camps shuttered, we saw a strong contingent of Emanuel youth at Jewish camps this year, including my son Eli at Azurui, Emanuel's relationship with Azurui being particularly significant, as we have our own Rabbi Shalman of blessed memory to thank for its establishment. Certainly, many of the things that make Emanuel Emanuel continued, right up to the Share Shabbat Care for Real food drive last month. And looking ahead, we are even planning a congregational trip to Israel this summer with your captain, Cantor Shelley. We certainly kept on. But some great new things, too, emerged from the pandemic, like 5959, our arts and culture arm, already off to an auspicious start under Amy Guth's leadership. Check them out. We also have Amy to thank for our production today, along with Rocco and Mike of Potenza Productions. So thank you for another year of bringing us home. But perhaps the most important thing to my remarks today, it was during what we thought would be the waning days of the pandemic this spring that longtime stewards and current board members took the time to vigorously question where we are headed financially, a topic I know I've said a lot about through emails to you and Zoom meetings over the past 4 months. Truly, Emanuel congregation, like many religious institutions following 19 months of COVID, is at a crossroads. You see, in our pandemic reflection, we came upon the sober realization that we are too close to hitting some treacherous rocks ahead. This inspired a massive congregational effort of reimagining what Emanuel has the potential to become if we want to thrive and grow in the 21st century, with an imperative eye toward fiscal realism. What we needed to do was nothing short of rebooting the Reformed synagogue model for our times. A truth I've come to embrace since we began to face our problem: no synagogue has a right to exist. Keeping our beloved Emanuel requires that we fight for it. Now, running a synagogue of our wide breadth yet modest membership is, simply put, costly. Emanuel is currently running at a loss, has been for years, and it's unsustainable to do so much longer. Of course, we're not alone in this struggle. Don't take my word for it. A recent article in Forward about the uptick in Reformed temple mergers pointed to a confluence of daunting new realities affecting many Jewish institutions nationally, including the waxing and waning of a deadly virus, declining synagogue membership, and a mounting number of Jews who identify more with Judaism spiritually than religiously, and who therefore feel no need for synagogues. So while the sources of our financial challenges are not unique, Emanuel receives substantially less income than we pay out in expenses from our core function, which is operating a synagogue. And unlike the past, the magnitude of the challenge we face today is vastly greater. We realize that with COVID bringing its own separate ongoing financial consequences, which don't seem to end, and the acceleration of those national headwinds I just mentioned, we could very soon cease to exist. We understood that we needed more than just cost containment and enhanced philanthropy for our bottom line. What we needed was to totally reimagine how to be a more impactful temple, with a more participatory way of doing Judaism, and to do it all on a smaller budget. We need to live within our means. We needed to grapple with the observation that fewer and fewer Jews are interested in what shuls like ours do. And with that, the Legacy Renewal Team was born, consisting of over 30 Emanuelites who bring vision, commitment, their professional skills, and moreover, a desire to endow our temple with a bright, long future as a remade institution. This team will be bringing you a vision proposal in the coming months, and we'll entertain feedback and dialogue when we do that. And of course, as part of the plan, we will discuss what Emanuel seeks in its next rabbi. But just to offer a taste, I want to share with you a few new emphases or ideas that have already emerged from this visioning process, ones we feel are appealing, demonstrate change from our norm, and are affordable. Imagine a vibrant new take on religious school that feels more like Jewish summer camp than an extension of the long school day our children already endure. Our education director, Mandy Herlick, has taken steps to make this shift a coming reality. Picture an extension campus of Emanuel and one or more satellites, serving Jews and Jewish families in areas of town where interest in Jewish life is there, but the offerings are too far away, as is our congregation to many right now. Thanks to Cantor Shelley and members of the team, this expansion effort is already in motion. And finally, envision an interfaith community, inclusive and welcoming toward all, who worship with us, where individuals or members of interfaith relationships and households are equally welcome to pray, sing, study, celebrate, and yes, marry as part of this community. It's not only possible, but it's all part of our reimagined Emanuel congregation. Now, this is to point out we are not just financially bailing out the boat, but creating a new, better vehicle to carry our our strong values. Now, financially, we have had several encouraging updates, including bequests, government-sponsored aid, and some cost reductions to planned projects. We're also entertaining scenarios with multiple space sharers, who will soon be one partial answer to our fiscal pains. And I'm very proud to share that as of this week, we have secured new donor pledges from 100% of our board, legacy renewal team, and our senior staff, the amounts of which come to over $157,000 so far. Their generosity serves, I believe, as a tremendous vote of confidence that these people, so familiar with our recent efforts, have in our ability to reach fiscal health and, frankly, to offer a more engaging experience. Cantor Shelley and our senior staff are 100% all in and are staking their careers on our success. And no matter what comes to pass over these next years, Cantor has assured me she is committed to honoring every scheduled B'nai Mitzvah on your present dates, no exceptions. But folks, while this first 157,000 is a blessing, it's but one piece of the puzzle that sustains us. Over this new year, we're going to need all of your support in order to bring about the Emanuel of your future and your children's future. Our timeline is short, and the moment to help is now. Let's be clear, Emanuel possesses the talent and the resources to bring fundamental change and create more dynamic, more connected community. And I'm excited to lead during our transformation because I do so with the full confidence that our members will join us. Emanuel will successfully negotiate those treacherous rocks and emerge stronger and better. So in closing, I've done my part. I've told you our truth. I'm abiding in my honesty to you because you deserve nothing less. Armed with these truths, you can now join us and do something significant to help craft Emanuel's bright future. Please contribute meaningfully to Emanuel this year. Join the dozens of families before you who have stretched what they can give. Contribute by participating. Join a synagogue group, come to a shared activity, dive into some Jewish learning here. Attend some 5959 events, and please engage actively in our forthcoming dialogues around the reimagined Emanuel. Why? Because we know that broader participation makes a better community, period. Our efforts this year, if we all pull together, will not only sustain us, they will ensure a future. Your donation helps this beloved congregation survive. And sure, no synagogue has a right to exist, but I and the people working every day for our future believe our congregation is an institution worth sustaining and saving. Don't you? Then join me in fighting for it. Tzom Kol. May you have an easy fast. Gemara Tov to all.